Hi, Orange Girl here with another scrapbooking process video for you. I am working with papers that I purchased from the Paper Issues store, and I am working on a challenge called the Big Ass Title Challenge, which is in the Paper Issues Facebook group. All of that information is linked below in the description of this video. And if you haven't gone to the Facebook page before, you should go there. We're having a lot of fun challenges right now. There are always challenges every month, and right now we're doing not only the regular challenges, but we recently had a crop, an online crop, and then we're doing a sketch a day, which is also fun. And so, since there are a lot of people that are home right now, that we were thinking we wanted to provide as much creative support and ideas, inspiration as we could. So I am working with Shimelle's Never Give Up collection, and two ephemera packs that I purchased. One is all just regular pieces of ephemera, so like the speech bubbles that you're seeing there, the rainbow, those sorts of things are in that. And then I just pulled out, before I started filming, I pulled out all of the things that I thought I might use. And then over on the left, there is a pack of just florals. And so I have those. I knew I wanted to add a bunch of florals to this. And so I just pulled those out and I kind of grouped them. Like some are the tall ones, some have no white border on them, some are just leaves. And I grouped them over to the side, over to the left there. And I'm going to pull from those as I go. The other thing that I knew I wanted to use from this collection was this background, the paper that I'm using around the outside, like as a border. It's kind of an orange, scarlet. I don't know. It's kind of orange, and it very much matches the drink that my daughter is drinking in this photo. This is of course, non-alcoholic beverage that she is drinking at a Mexican restaurant. The waitress just gave it to her, spoils her a little bit, and so she was drinking that, and the photo. My one true love took the photo, and I just love how there's a lot of neutrals in it, and then that drink just kind of pops out of the picture. And so I wanted to use that. When I saw this paper that I'm going to use as a border, I thought that just worked perfectly. It just helped make that pop out of the page. And then I wanted to use as much other colors as I could. And so I decided for this big ass title challenge that I would use these little alphas, which aren't really alphas. So this is a pattern paper that's in the collection. And right now I am cutting around each of the letters, and I don't make you watch all of this. I end up actually doing it a little bit differently than how I started. So I started by cutting around each one, fussy cutting every little piece. And I end up going with something a little bit differently. I end up actually cutting around them so that there's a little space, a little white space around each one of them, because I decided that I wanted to pop some of the letters up off the page, because the photo is always going to be my focus, but for this challenge, I'm going to make a giant title. And so since I'm going to make this giant title, it's going to take up like half of the page, and there's the title. So once I started, so you can see some of the letters, I just cut like a square, except it's wonky, it's not perfect square around each one of them. And I go through eventually here and I will make it so all of them are that way, instead of the ones that I have fussy cutted, because I just liked the look of it a little bit better. So I switched kind of partway through. So I decided, you kind of saw me there pulling some of those florals and put some on either side of the photo. I thought they looked kind of tropical, and I thought that kind of went with the drink as well, kind of looks tropical. So at this point I'm thinking I want to put something maybe underneath the title, which maybe some florals down there, and I end up, I think, going a different direction a little bit. So my title is kind of part of it is my journaling. I usually journal on my pages, and I don't on this one because I thought this kind of just told what I wanted to say. It was just enjoy the little things in life. And we all need to remember to do that when we can, especially in this strange situation that we are in right now. Um, so I went ahead and what I'm doing right now is something that I do very often. I'm kind of gluing everything to itself so that I can move it around the page. I decided that I might move everything up just a little bit, and I was sick of having to move all of those little pieces around. So I thought, well, I'll just glue everything together so then I can move it just as one big piece. I did pop up some of the flowers. I think just one of the flowers in each of the clusters I popped up, one on each side of the photo. And then, as usual, if you're someone that watches my channel, you'll know I almost always put a little bit of tissue paper behind my photo. I get questions about that once in a while. It's just regular tissue paper that you get at wherever, like when you get a gift or whatever. And then at this point I realized, you know what, I don't have that background glued down yet. So I should do that while I'm kind of messing things around here. So I cut out the center because on the opposite side, well, actually kind of for two reasons. Oh, of course, while I'm filming, I'm also going to run out of my tape runner. Anyway, quick refill there. I cut the center out of that for a couple of reasons. One, because I really like the color of that paper and I might use it behind a photo sometime. But then also I noticed that there is a floral pattern on the back side of that paper, and I think I actually end up fussy cutting a couple things out of that and using it. So I'm using just regular craft foam behind my photo to pop it up. Oh, I decided to cut this butterfly out. That's it. So in the ephemera pack, there were 2 butterflies that you already see there, and I wanted a third. So, and there might have been 3 in there, but there were 2 that I liked the most, and so then I wanted a third to put down at the bottom somewhere. So I just went ahead and cut that out of that pattern paper. I'm continuing to use this craft foam that I just get, you can just get it on Amazon or anywhere, and it's really cheap. It has some adhesive on one side of it. You can also buy it without any adhesive on it. And it comes in like, I'm going to call it like maybe 6x8 pieces of foam, and one side, like you can see there, has adhesive. And so I just rip the paper off of it and stick it on whatever I'm going to stick down, and then whatever I stick down to the actual page, I use adhesive. I use liquid adhesive typically to do that. It just works a little bit better. So I am not popping up every single one of these letters. I'm doing a few in each of the words, and I'm not doing a pattern. So I'm not like having 1 up, 1 down, or 2 up, 2 down, or anything like that. I'm just kind of doing it wherever I feel like it looks good. So no rhyme or reason. Let's see. So I popped up the 2 small the 2 small flowers, one on each side of the photo. And then I put a little bit, typically put a little bit of the foam adhesive behind my butterflies on the wings so that the wings kind of stand off the page a little bit. After I got everything on there, I decided, at first I was thinking I wasn't going to mat my photo on anything except for the tissue paper. But then I decide here in a little bit that I'm going to actually put a little bit of a border behind that as well. So you might have saw that. I grabbed a sticker sheet. So on this sticker sheet, I found, it says Simple Joys. And then there was another one that says Discover, I think. And so I liked the Discover because it was a little bit bigger, and I liked that pop of kind of an orangish red there. So I put that above the title, and then below Simple Joys. You could actually read it, Discover Enjoying the Little Things in Life, Simple Joys. You could actually read it as a title that way if you really wanted to. So let's see. Popping up, I think I found a flower or 2 that was a sticker on the sticker sheet, and I actually popped those up off the page and put a couple of those in the clusters as well. So here's where I decide I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of a border behind my photo, but I really didn't want to use the edge of that paper because I thought it would make a great paper to go kind of as a border around a different layout. So I cut the center out, and now I'm roughing up the edges with my distressor tool and adding that behind. Oh, then I decided I needed a little bit of something behind my photo. Not the photo actually, but the florals that are there. And so I just grabbed a couple of sprays. This one is pink, and this one is kind of an orange color, kind of an orange red, very similar to the border paper. And I let that dry, and now I'm coming back and I'm gonna go ahead and put everything down. I might add a little bit more of that later as we go. As usual, something I've got to make sure that I do is I'm gonna go ahead and add some tangled thread. I added some yellow up here behind the photo on each side, I believe. And I'm going to start gluing down. Yes, I'm almost done here. I'm done with the basic design. I don't know that I add all that much other than just going ahead and gluing everything down. I did use my ruler. I used my T-square ruler. Sometimes I don't really care and it's okay if it's wonky, but I kind of felt like I wanted to make sure that photo was pretty well in the center and that it was fairly straight. And so when I glue that down, I will make sure that I use my ruler to do that. And then I do the same when I'm working on the actual title because I felt like it all needed to just be, sometimes I don't care. It's still going to look a little wonky, but it's straight. It's going to look wonky because of the style of the letters and because I didn't cut around them. And so they're not, it's perfectly imperfect if you ask me. So this photo was taken obviously pre-COVID-19, but the only thing I think I do off camera is I might add the date off camera. But other than that, I think we get everything on this page. We haven't been out to eat. We haven't even done takeout, which I feel a little guilty about because I would like to support local businesses. But with the fact that I do help my mom some, and my one true love have some lung issues, and his parents do as well. Not that we're around them that much, but you never know. So we're playing it extra careful because pretty much everybody that has any sort of health issue in my family has something related to lungs. So it's probably a good idea for us to just, be as safe as possible. So that's what we're doing. I am a teacher. If you don't know that, I'm a teacher during the day, and so we do not have school. And you would think that would mean that I would have all this time on my hands, but we are doing online learning, so I'm actually in some ways more busy. It's just the time is different and flexible, a little bit more flexible in some ways. So just recently, our governor did cancel school for the rest of the year, so we are in a full online learning mode at this point. So when I decided to glue this down, I decided to go ahead and start kind of at the bottom and move up because of where I wanted the letters to go. The other thing that I'm kind of looking at, I don't know if you can tell this in the video, probably not, is I'm laying down the letters as I'm gluing them. I'm starting at one end and I'll finish this word, and then I'll go back and start at the other end because I want the sides to be the same. So if they're 2.5 inches in, or 2.25 inches, or whatever it is there, in from the left side, I want it to be the same from the right side. It's a little off just because there's that flower there, but you can't tell. I mean, it looks fine the way that it is. The letters are actually not off, but because I have the butterfly and the flowers are a little different, it does actually look a little off maybe. I don't know. I like the way it looks though, so I don't care. So yeah, so I'm just putting this down with my liquid adhesive that I have in my fine liner bottle. I kind of go back and forth between using this glue that's in this fine liner bottle, which is like a tacky glue or something like that. And I also use a Nuvo liquid adhesive also, which I know that one is available in the paper issue store. So that's another good one. I have them both on my desk, and whichever one I pull up is what I use. So I did put a little bit of tangled thread underneath Discover, and I'm putting a little bit underneath Simple Joys. I think the Discover had orange thread, and then Simple Joys has some pink thread underneath it, matching the color-ish, kind of, or closely matching the color of the piece that I put down there. And then finally here, I'm going to glue these little flowers down, and I added a few little splatters down at the bottom as well. So that's what it looks like. And then in the close-ups, you'll be able to see kind of how some of that stuff is popped up off the page. It's kind of hard to see on a white background, but you can see it in person really well. Thanks a lot for stopping by. I hope you participate in some of our challenges over at Paper Issues. Look for all that information below, and I hope you are healthy, and I will see you in my next video.